Hello Arcadia parents, and welcome to the first Head of Secondary vlog of this year. It's wonderful to be back at school, seeing the children back in their classes, learning going on. It's been a great atmosphere, and also wonderful to connect with so many of the community over the last few weeks. Talking of connecting with the community, we had our Year 10 and Year 11 coffee mornings this week. These are the last two in a series of coffee mornings which have given parents the opportunity to come into school, meet with senior leaders, meet with heads of core department, and crucially meet with the heads of year. All of these events have been marvellous, and Grace will have shared the PowerPoint presentations with parents who were sadly unable to attend. We've also had our inaugural parent-teacher in-person meeting, Meet the Form Tutor. That took place on Thursday evening. We had over 300 parents visiting the school over the course of the 2 hours. It was our largest ever in-person parent meeting for the secondary school. Great to see so many parents in, connecting with form tutors, touching base and making sure the children have settled in well. We also had our inclusion coffee morning this morning, run by our head of secondary inclusion, Miss Sexton, with support from the staff in the inclusion department, which was great to see as well. And if you were in the building this morning, you would also see the celebrations for the Prophet Muhammad's birthday, which is planned for Sunday, but we celebrated today as a community. Looking forward to next week, we have our after-school activities run by Arcadia staff beginning on Monday. The invite for that and the sign-up was on School Cloud, sent out last week. Please make sure you review that with your son or daughter and get them signed up for some activities. Some really interesting things taking place. Also for next week in the secondary, Cat 4 testing will be happening for certain year groups and all new students. There's nothing to prepare for. Students can just come into school, but they'll have a special lesson where they'll go and take their Cat 4 assessment on their device. It's effectively a cognitive ability test, and that helps us as a school plan our teaching techniques to meet the needs of students. Some other reminders, we've slightly changed the time of the national anthem in the morning to 7:45. Registration starts at 7:40 and students should be in their form room before the national anthem at 7:45. Crucially, lessons start at 7:50, so it's key that students are in, registered and on their way to their lessons for a prompt start at 7:50. Support from parents, making sure students are in school on time and are punctual, is always appreciated. A slight change to our communication. One of the things we're doing, responding to parental feedback, is making sure that we're communicating in a streamlined and effective way. Part of that is making sure we send all of our letters out just on one single mail shot on a Thursday. So each Thursday you'll receive a letter from secondary with an index to all of the different aspects of secondary life. For example, sporting invites, updates from the IT team, individual year group letters, trip letters, the whole thing will come just on a Thursday, and as a parent you can go through and select only those letters and only that information that is relevant to you and your family. Please do look out for that every Thursday, or if you see, there'll be the newsletter each week on a Friday as well, but keep mindful of that. In the newsletter I did mention some updates. Firstly, around uniform. So most of our students are looking very, very smart and have benefited from the more relaxed uniform this year. So we've moved away from blazers and ties. Top buttons can be undone now. But there are a few students who are still not quite meeting our expectations. We can't do it alone. We need parental support. So we can challenge students who maybe are not dressed correctly in school, but can you please support us from home as well? I understand that the uniform shop and delivery of trousers and shirts was slightly delayed at the start of the year. We understand around those things, but key things we have control over, things like jewellery, making sure for safety reasons children are not wearing hoop earrings, just one pair of studs please, not long dangly necklaces. If there is one necklace, it should be hidden and not visible while the student is wearing it. One bracelet and one ring. Of course, we have teenagers in the secondary school, and teenagers will try and push the boundaries and they will try and wear multiple different sorts of jewellery, etc. But with the home and school partnership working together, we can get those standards up to where they need to be. Likewise, trainers. There are some students wearing trainers still at school. Now, there are students who have medical conditions which require them to wear different sorts of shoes. That's absolutely fine. As long as we have a doctor's note for that, we can give them a medical pass and they can wear shoes appropriate for their needs. That's fine, but we need to make sure that that's done in a fair and equitable way. I understand that some children will prefer wearing trainers over school shoes, but again, we have very, very high standards here and we have communicated clearly. I personally wrote a letter to all parents at the end of last term with clear instructions over what constitutes school shoes and what does not. So with your support, I think 95% of our children are getting it absolutely right, but we need parental support for those last few percent to make sure we are as we need. And speaking of parental support, please remember our road safety outside the front of the school. No one should be parking right in front of the school. Please park on either the waste ground or down along the street if you're coming into the building. If parents stop in the road blocking traffic, what that does, it means it's very, very dangerous because children have to cross between parked cars effectively. So please pick up and drop off time where we're acting carefully and in the interests of the children. And also courtesy to one another, our security staff, courtesy to other parents, making sure we are role modelling the qualities and values we'd like to see in our children to one another as well. And my own personal bugbear, for children that come into school on a bike or a scooter, please make sure they're wearing a safety helmet so that they are safe and well. And should they come off, which is possible, they're not going to find themselves in a very difficult situation, and we don't want anyone getting hurt. That's everything from me. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to seeing students on Monday morning. Thank you, and bye-bye.